Hi, this is Johnny Bergen with another Chicago Blues guitar lesson. Before we get rolling, I just want to let you know I do have a Patreon page to help me keep these deep dives into the blues crates and the nooks and crannies, keep them going. So do join me on Patreon. So let's get right into it. This time we're really looking at a nook and cranny with a pretty obscure guy who I'm just a huge fan of, Jesse Thomas. He is just amazing, and I decided to do a Boogie and A by him out of 8 million great songs that he did. Um, it would take like a month to really talk about all the tricks he has and and his approach. But I want to do a Boogie and A called Meet Me Along the Avenue. So lots of stuff in here. I think what I'll do is I'll just lay out some ingredients, kind of like on a cooking show where you put your sliced onions over here and your salt over there and stuff. So I'm going to talk about some ingredients and then see how they go together. So here's your long A, right? And an A7th. And then here's a D7th with it's actually a first inversion. So your second finger's on the low E string, second fret. Open E string on the high E string. So you have that. And then this chord, and then the chord that he uses all the time, which might be new to you, if this other stuff wasn't so far, is this chord. He uses this chord again and again, right from the top. What's that, right? It's an A7th, 4th fret A string, 5th fret D string, first finger, however you finger, either this way or this way with your second, third, or third and fourth, doesn't matter, but your first finger is going to be here on the root, 2nd fret, G string. Yeah, so like that. He kind of thinks like a piano player. He's playing all these bass lines. They're kind of like piano sort of bass lines in some ways. And then he does a boogie pattern like this when he's on the E. Here's an E7th. It's just typical E7th like this. And I just like put my pinky on the 3rd fret of the B string. It's more comfortable there. Or you can do this. He does this all the and then back to the long A, and then an A diminished. Just like in A Kind-Hearted Woman by Robert Johnson. I got a woman, do anything in the world for me. So, because he's really part of that, and he uses tension and release with chords rather than with the leads so much on this song. You know, it's like. So those are some of the ingredients of this boogie woogie thing, some of the A chords and all that. One more I'll go into. He does this stuff, it's almost like Eddie Taylor and Magic Sam, this kind of thing. Like that, really great chord. So this is, I like to use these two fingers here rather than these two. It's just more balanced, just like the same way I like, let me get over here, you can see it better. This like I like to use this way for an E7th. It's just more comfortable. So he's actually playing a D string over the 1 for this alternate bass line that he's going through. It's weird, but it's there, I promise. So. And then this is a D7th. It's just like the song that the chord that's in Honky Tonk, but I think I'm going a little too fast. So this is 12 and 13. It's the top part of an A minor chord, right? You gotta cry it. He puts that all over the place, not just in this song, but in the songs that he does. And then move it down 3 frets. You're in just a regular A major chord. It's the top part of this. A C chord that's been moved all the way up, right? See how that's like just these 2 strings here, the open and 1st fret is like top part of the C chord. Up here at 9 and 10, it's top part of an A chord. The main thing about this stuff is you got to make these parts really jump with energy, and we're going to talk about that. And then on the D, he does this. I consider this note as being sort of behind a D chord. 10th fret. Oh, this is on the 8th fret E string, 10th fret B string, and then 11th fret G string. And then he reaches his pinky out, just savvy. Yeah. And maybe it's just 2 notes. But I like the 3-note chord here, so you have a choice. He has this funny way of sort of getting into his E boogie when he goes to the 5. Something like doom ka doom da da da. It's like a little drum break. Doom ba doom 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 doom. And then he goes. This is the last little ingredient I'll talk about. This is, I call this the last night chord. He does awesome, and this is real light Hawkins. So you got your 2nd finger, 4th fret D string. 1st finger is the 3rd fret B string, and that's your root. That's your D there. And then these 2 fingers, 3rd and 4th, go on the 5th fret of the G and E strings. And so he's not exactly playing the chord like that, but he's playing all the notes in the chord. I'm going to do that real slow. You can do a little tug there. And then he has these cool, I don't know if he does that. This is a chord, it's like a 1-finger A chord. It's kind of his resolution chord. But I think he does this. Or it's tricky, and he's blasting through this. This is fast song. You can do the top part of your augmented chord here for that. So the whole thing would be, well, I'm getting ahead of myself again. So what I'm going to do is play the song a little bit. Try to play it slow. And you've got these real relaxed alternate bass things. You don't want to be too all the way through, but you kind of go. And then you got to bop it. So it's like you have the alternate bass notes and then the bops. Bop, 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 bop. Or the J.B. Lenore style things like da 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 doo da 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 doo da 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 doo da da. That's kind of like, it reminds me of Mama Taught to Your Daughter. And that's just the top part of the A7th chord. So those are some of the ingredients. So I'm going to play it a little bit. So let's see. It starts out with these lead guitar things. There's a couple of go-arounds that have this real good lead guitar. This is the first one opens up the song. I really think this is a 8th fret on the G string, which is weird, but I think that's what it is. And then there's that A7th chord we were talking about at the beginning, right? And then your D7th chord we were talking about. Then walk that bass line, which is open 4, 2, 4, 2 on your strings going from the E, A, D. I'm just using my 1st finger to cover the 2nd fret of the A and D strings. That's as far as it goes. And now we're at the 2nd go around, which has those piano sort of bass lines. Trippy. Wow. Yes! Feel like boogie tonight. Doom ba doom jack doom ba doom. It's really got a bounce. So this is open 4 on the A string, then low E string, 4 on the A string. And I'm doing an alternate bass line here of a 2nd fret and the A string. You don't want to sound too folky. then, oh, then he does this JB Lenore thing we're talking about. To me, like Mama taught your daughter. I got my first finger on the second fret, and then I'm just going to walk up with second and third fingers, second and third fret on the E string. Okay, and then you got to you got to go bop bop bop, and then you got to bounce it sort of doom doom. And then he changes the rhythm because he's always playing with your expectations. Bop bop. Sure, with doom ka doom. I sort of swaggered into the low E string. I'm gonna do that again. Or, yeah, and then he does this great walking thing, and I'm just gonna use my fingernail as a pick. A7. That's on D there. He does that again, and again. That. And then he has this crying thing we were talking about. Or, wow, pretty smoking. And then he has one more verse. I went out last night to have a drink or two. I went out on the avenue looking for you. I found you, darling, down on the avenue. Too drunk to remember when I said hello to you. Those are great lyrics. He's got this. Sorry for this. Got this real chintzy little amp, and it's maybe it needs a new battery or something. I'll try it again. That really jumps, man. It jumps like crazy. You got to play this with a smile on your face. He's playing cat and mouse with his audience a little bit. And then he ends it with this again. And then or it's hard for me to tell exactly. Anyway, it's a tour de force as far as just really jumping it. So really have fun. There's so many other Jesse Thomas songs that I'm simply crazy about. I actually reworked the Now's the Time. I did it more in a Magic Sam style, but the way he does it, the first chord might be a ninth. The second chord is a diminished instead of the D ninth. So it's a substitution there. Now's the time for love. He has his great ways of bending. It almost reminds me of the Otis Rush Cobra. And like that song, Long Time. If you really want to learn some smoking guitar, it's just wicked. And then he's got this staccato-ness in the way he cuts off his notes. and this stinging vibrato. I mean, he really sunk his teeth into electric lead guitar playing, and he was kind of one of the first electric lead guitar players, along with Lowell Fulson, T-Bone Walker. In the '40s. That stuff is just fabulous. Cool Fine Lover has those cool chords. That's the same chord that we used in the Boogie. Cool Fine Lover has just great chords. I mean, I could go on and on. He's just fabulous. And Delmark actually made a great record on him with John Primer and Jodie Christian on piano, great jazz piano player. And Jesse Thomas was over 90 then. So just a great artist. And I hope that you enjoy listening to some of his music. And hope that you have fun with these boogie patterns, however you want to play it. I mean, this is a great way to start. And you could definitely feel like it's a dance record as a solo guitarist. So, and if you have any stories about him, I know he died in the early '90s. But if anybody who knew him, worked with him, anything like that, please, I'd love to hear from you. Leave it in your comments. Do subscribe to my YouTube channel, and see you next time.